everyone. Welcome to Nareen's Life with MS. I am Nareen, and it is time for a Soulful Saturday. Now, this Soulful Saturday, I did want to highlight the fact that IPL has begun, and and regarding IPL and many other sports. Um, and some of the teams that I support, I tend to find myself part of, I'd say, pretty toxic fan bases. And now, nothing wrong with, a fan base that is overtly um, passionate about, the team, the players, and the work that the team has done. But of course, one thing we always have to remember is that with any sport, with any game, with um, any team, if let's say this year is not going well or this season is not going well, remember there's always a next season, and there are always times that you know one if one season is not good enough, the following season might actually be a complete 180 and end up being probably the best season ever. And this happens more often than you would realize, um, and that regardless of what might happen in one case does not mean that that is the only thing that will ever happen, right? In that case, I think um, one thing that I do remember is, I want to say, USC's 2011 football season was very, very good. I mean, we ended the season 10-2, and it just so happened that USC was on probation that year, and once we and we actually had such a good season that people were considering us the champions of our group and our division, actually, and or whatever you want to call it, and conference, I think. But yeah, I was thinking about that word. But and so as a result, but of course, in 2011, USC was not eligible for bowls, or postseason for that matter. So as it just so happens that in 2012, when we were eligible for postseason, we came in rank 1, and it just so happened that that season we ended up not actually being ranked towards the end of the season. So lots of things can happen. Definitely there are situations that do not pan out very well, but the reason I wanted to talk about this was because a lot of sports are year round, but I think uh, considering that this is generally when sports actually do turn competitive, and this is the first, I'd say, first season of sports in the year, and then obviously it will continue with like different sports and different seasons. Do try to take one step back from your fandom, just so that it does not end up being a source of stress, right? I mean, at the end of the day, when we think about sports, the fact that we're fans of certain sports, that we like watching our team play, perform, it is just for our entertainment, right? We are not ones that are actually getting on the field to play the game, or even if you are, you might be, professional, semi-professional, or wherever, even casual, that is different. And there are definitely, I want to say, lessons that you learn on sportsmanship, but definitely as a fan, do realize that this the games, the team, right, the sport, all of them are, again, created for our enjoyment, for our entertainment. So really, you should not be holding a chip on your shoulder in regards to if your team did not do as well as they could have done or should have done, or even would have done, say circumstances were slightly different. And I'm saying this knowing full well that right now, the finals of the 2023 One Day International World Cup is playing in my head. Despite that, the one thing I did want to make clear was, don't let what happens on a field, or what happens technically on your TV, be a reason that you are getting stressed, because at the end of the day, your health is a lot more important. And getting stressed or putting your body into detriment, or better yet, putting your body in a place where it shouldn't be, or overly stressed about something that really concerned other people, um, is not a good enough reason to sacrifice your health. So I did want to share this one little tidbit. I know everyone knows this, but despite that, there are always cases. I mean, I have definitely been party to a lot of times where I did let it get to my head. It did impact my health in one way or another. And now that I look back on it, and I have actually learned to control my emotions a little better, especially when it comes to watching my teams play. I know that there really isn't, I mean, considering that you're not one of the people performing, don't let yourself get as stressed as you normally would, right? Try to make sure that if it wasn't this season, it's going to be next season. If it wasn't this game, it's going to be next game, because those chances will be there. And you can't let one game, you can't let one matchup, you can't let one season be the reason that you're going to be worse off tomorrow than today. So with that said, I do hope your weekend is going very well. Funny story, I actually did hurt myself last week, or this week, um, doing some exercises, and as a result, and I didn't even realize this, that little scratch that I got on my foot got infected, and now I am on antibiotics just for I'd say the next few days, at least till my foot gets better. But that, I'd say, is a much more valid reason to be a little bit more careful about your health, and not something that you're watching on TV or even on the field, right? Um, but even with that being said, yes, I do hope your weekend is going very well. Please do share maybe some experiences about when you have, had a bad experience as a fan, or you have maybe taken, your team's loss a little too seriously, because that will be a great reason for us to start a conversation. And of course, with that said, all I want to say now is that hope um, hope you are having a good night. Hope you do have sweet dreams. And of course, I will catch you tomorrow. Bye.